All right.
Oh,
As it's 7 o'clock, it's my pleasure to call to order the Planning and Zoning / Board of Zoning Appeals meeting to order. For those that wish to or are able, Pledge of Allegiance, please. The flag of the United States of America. Indivisible with liberty for all. Thank you. We'll start with the roll call. Gary Jensen. Paul Spranger is present. Amy Bradley.
Here.
Steve Conway. Rick Schellenberger. Scott Phillips.
here.
And Dalton Wilson. All right. We do have a quorum. And now at this point in time, everybody's had a chance to look at the agenda, I'm sure. I would make a motion that we approve the agenda as written.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, the agenda stands as written. The next item, of course, is approval of the draft minutes that we have before us. These are of the January 27th, 2026 draft minutes. And there again, I would make them, I've reviewed, and I assume everybody else has, make a motion to approve those minutes. And I hear a second. All those for, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any against? Hearing none, the draft minutes are approved. In the next item, of course, is communications. So I'm seeing none from staff at this point. So that we're going to go ahead and move on to the public hearings that are before us. And we'll start with review of V as in Victor 2026-04. This is the application for Mark and Leanda Weaver pursuant to City Code 171008, who are petitioning for a variance to have a 2,400 square foot accessory structure on the property addressed as 515 East Valley Park Drive. That's here in Valley Center at our zip code. Staff, we'll open the public hearing.
All right, good evening. Again, this is a variance for an accessory structure. This lot is a kind of unique lot for this neighborhood. You can see it up on your screen. I apologize to the audience. The projector is not working. But there's an easement that runs diagonal across the lot from southwest to northeast across this lot. The applicant did, and it's included in the packet, did get a letter basically allowing to build in that easement. He is requesting to build a shop not to exceed 2,400 square feet. So last I talked to him, he is here this evening. If it's kind of budget allows. So it might be smaller, but he doesn't want 2,400 square feet is the maximum that he's requesting. We did publish notice in the Ark Valley News and notified the neighbors. I did not receive any comments on this. I did want to note that next door to him to the west, you guys recently reviewed and approved accessory structure to be larger than what code allows on that lot. And there's a house, I believe, across the street that has a accessory structure that is either right at the size or maybe a little bit bigger. So it's not uncommon for this area to have an accessory structure larger than what code allows. And where he's proposing to place it on the property, he will have more than sufficient setbacks from his house and from his neighboring house and from property lines. So he definitely has the room for it. Again, the applicant is here this evening if you'd like to ask him any questions specifically, but staff do recommend approval.
Okay.
Are those pipelines, any of those active?
So the Jayhawk one, the one that's running north to south, He might know if that one's actually active, but that one is not in, that one's not gonna be in conflict with his building at all. The other one that's running diagonal that he has the release from is not an active line.
So is there just a real quick question. So the easement line, is there any required setback from the easement line to the structure, or is that silent to that?
For the one that he has the release from, he can build.
Jayhawk, the
From
Jayhawk.
Jayhawk, he just can't build within their easement, to my knowledge. I don't believe that there's, because if you look at the other homes along there, there's some that are right up on that line. So my
Okay.
understanding is they can build right up to that line,
Okay, so there's no statute to that effect.
not to my knowledge.
Okay. And all right, then we'll technically open the public hearing at 7:05. For anybody that would like to speak for this project, please come forward, address yourself by name and address, please. Is the applicant here? You are? Is there anything you would like to add to this presentation or comments?
The only thing I might add is that lot is a 0.92 acre lot. Is what
Right.
I showed on my lot. So it is a little bit larger lot. So they're very similar, but it is a larger lot.
And I'm going to assume this is a metal building.
I will probably do wood.
Okay, so it'll kind of be complementary to the neighborhood as opposed to an industrial type building.
Correct.
You have any windows?
Possibly.
Okay.
I'd like to do windows. So
All right, so you're being a good neighbor.
fine.
All right, that's a good thing. Especially in Valley Center, we want everybody to be a good neighbor.
So, yeah, that's really all I kind of looked around the neighborhood to see, you know, there's a building around 200 South Colby that was recently approved. 40 building and just a stand.
Yeah. While you're here, is there any questions from the board at this point from the applicant? No? That's pretty straightforward. Thank you. All right. Seeing anybody from the public want to speak to this issue? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing at 7:04. All right. Any discussion from the board on this subject, this project? Yeah, okay. Oh, 7:04, all right. Yeah,
I think they're saying you misstated to close the public hearing at 7:07.
yeah. Well, we had the applicant in front of us. That's why. All right. All right, we'll make a recommended motion based on city staff recommendations, public comments, and opportunity to discuss with the applicant. Discussion with the board, of zoning appeals. I make a motion to approve and would entertain a second.
Second.
We have a second. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, it carries unanimously. All right. Thank you for that. Thank you for the applicant to be coming in too. All right, our next item is we're going to do a review of RZ 202601, application of Mike and Tammy Miller pursuant to City Code 1711, who is petitioning for a rezone of land that is currently zoned R1B, which is the city's designation for single-family district, to R2, which is his designation for a two-family district. The property is currently addressed at 135 North Ash here in Valley Center. At this point, staff, you
Alrighty. So again, as mentioned, this is a rezone application. You might recall this actually did come before you last year. This body approved or made a recommendation to approve the rezone. It was the first reading was approved at council. The second reading was not approved, so it did not get rezoned. At that time, the applicant was asking for R4 zoning, which is high density residential. He's came back, or he and his wife have came back with R2. So they could, if they get that rezoning, it would be to build one duplex on the lot. I did publish a notice and provide notification to neighbors. I did receive opposition yesterday from one neighbor on this, and their primary concern was drainage. They did also mention that there are other areas of town that the duplexes could be built in. In our review of this, we look at this neighborhood specifically. There is a lot of different zoning at that intersection. There's a lot of spot zoning. There is commercial to the east, to the west, to the north is R3, to the northwest is R2. So it doesn't seem uncommon for the neighborhood. With the council's concerns about R4 being too much for this lot, the R2 seems to be a better fit based on what council's opinion was. And again, we only received the one opposition. Again, it was drainage was one of the concerns. There's already a structure on the property. It is not as big as a duplex would be, but this lot is very reasonable in size to have a duplex on it and still be within our boundary or our code requirements for lot coverage. So I don't feel that it's going to cause more drainage issues in that area. The entire neighborhood seems to kind of hold water, and that gutter right there, or the drainage across the street is deep, and so it just automatically is going to hold some more water. The applicant is here this evening. If you have any questions for him, but otherwise, staff do recommend approval of the rezone.
Thank you. We'll open the public hearing at 7:11. Anybody who would like to speak for this project or the applicant, please, of course, state not only your name, but your address, please.
Michael Miller, 701 Dover Drive. Just wanted to see if you guys had any questions. I appreciate you approving it last time, and hopefully this will be a better fit for city council, so they'll approve it both times at the time. So,
Right.
questions for me?
Anybody on board want to?
Yeah, so it was mentioned there's a structure already on the lot. What's going to happen to that structure?
So the plan was to tear that down and build a duplex for one lot. For the R2, we can only have one structure. So.
And do you have idea like which direction it'll face yet, or is that?
Yeah, we want to go with the original plan of facing towards Ash. That way it's not backing into the fourplex that's right across the street.
And the parking going to be to the rear, to the front, forward,
Off Ash.
off Ash? Parking and the units will face Ash. Fairly short driveways, I assume.
25 foot is the setback.
And the width
We
of
plan on putting garages.
and the width of the driveways will accommodate a visitor.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
If I'm trying to recall code, they have to have a duplex. I believe they have to have one space, off-street space per lot. So if they
Right.
have a single car garage, they have to have the garage plus a driveway
Right.
space. If they have a double wide garage, I assume that they would do a double wide driveway
Right.
as well. And then they
Yeah,
would
so
have-
we don't have it stacking up on Ash. Yeah, okay. That's my only question. Any other questions? No other questions. Okay, if no other questions, I'll close the public hearing at 7:13. All right. And then it's time for a motion based on city staff recommendations and public comments and discussion by the Board of Zoning Appeals. I make a motion to approve. And do we hear a second? Okay, we have a second. Oh, I just getting hard of hearing, so appreciate that. We have a second. All right, we'll take the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no opposition, motion carries. Okay. Now we're going to move on to review of SP. Did I get that right? Yeah. SP 202601, application of Blaine Martin pursuant to City Code 1712, who is petitioning to change a previously approved site plan at the current property unaddressed, just north of the intersection of West 77th Street North and North Ridge Valley Center in the same zip code. Staff, take it away.
Alrighty. So as mentioned, so just more backstory. So this property was annexed into the city limits and zoned agriculture. They then came and got a special use permit to operate a mineral extraction or for a sand pit. In that original hearing, the site plan that's up on your screen shows what was originally included in that original site plan. It's kind of hard to see, but in this area, some of their bins and some of their bigger outdoor equipment. And then when you first come in the drive, there was basically a scale house right when you pulled in the center of the property. They did not have any buildings included in this original site plan. Now that they have started moving dirt, building up their berms that they are required to have. And let's see if I can get this better for you. Their new site plan, instead of having the scales immediately upon entry, they've moved the drive or the proposed drive to go to the north and have the scales at the north end of the site. And then this square right here is reflecting where their building would be. So there's a couple positives with the drive change. So this way, if there are trucks coming in and they're stacking up, they have room to get off of Ridge Road and they have room to stack up on site instead of stacking up on Ridge Road. They also have room then as they're leaving, after they've weighed out, they have room to park and cover their loads and tarp and do everything that they need to do before they leave the site. So that's one change. The drive change and the scale moving would have been enough that staff could have approved that on our own. However, they added this building in, which was not in the original site plan. So we wanted to bring that before this body to consider approval. I also included the site plan to show approximate parking. So this building will be an office and shop for their operations. They will have 5 stalls in front of the office that will be for customers coming in. So if they have any people coming in to order material, they have places to park that are designated for them. One of those will be a handicap stall with a concrete appropriate pad for access. Then on the south side of the building would be where their staff would park during the day. So they're not necessarily so they can park, walk into the building. They're not having to cross the lot, cross through equipment to get, to and from their personal vehicles. The applicant did email me. He was hoping to be here this evening. He had something come up, so he's not here to answer questions. So I will do my best to answer any questions you might have. But upon reviewing this, staff did not see any concerns with these changes. This is unique because Ridge Road is still Sedgwick County. So if there is any signage needed, some of the right-of-way is in Valley Center, but most of the right-of-way is in Sedgwick County. So if any of the signage in the right-of-way is needed, it might be us reviewing it. It might be the county reviewing it. But they also, because it's a mineral extraction, they have to pass inspection by the Mine Safety and Health Administration. And that requires a lot more signage on site than what we would typically review. So they did not give us the full signage plan because it's not something, again, that we would typically review on our end because it's not, where's the speed limit sign? Where's the entrance sign? There's a lot of additional signage that's required, gates, access controls, things like that, that they have to pass before they can actually start a mining operation. And what is classified as a mining operation, it sounds worse than, I mean, it's a sand pit, just as we've had, that there have been in the area, and what it's approved for. But they are governed and have to pass the regulations of, I believe it's MSHA is the acronym. So staff recommend approval, and I'd stand for any questions that you might have.
How close is that to 85th Street?
So this is the southern half of that section. So right now they're starting, let me go back up to the first map. So these two squares right here are homes that are on 77th Street. And so they are starting, this line here is about the section line. So they're starting on the southern half. And this, I believe, if I can't read that, I think it's a 10, it's up the top right here. I think it's a 10 to 15 year estimate. Sorry.
Oh, yeah,
There
15
you go.
years. Okay.
And then they will work their way north towards 85th Street in future phases. But he did mention this is probably a 20 to 30 year project.
Okay, but as far as
So-
this building, it's in that little area still?
Correct.
Just
It
can't
is.
Figure out where.
Yep. So the building will be, so right here where the section line is, the building will be right about here where my mouse
Okay.
is. I'll try and show you that on this map as well. So the section line is approximately right here. If you
Okay.
can see my mouse. So it'll be on that southern portion of the property.
Just out of curiosity, the distance between that area that the trucks would go through, how long would you say that is?
I can't remember.
Sections?
Don't want to give an exact number, but if you look at this map to the right here, the very edge here would be where those homes are on the south end. And this is about a half-mile stretch from left or from right to left. So I'm going to guess it's maybe about a third of a mile long. So quarter to a third of a mile long.
Probably easily would take care of,
That might be a good estimate.
they're turning around there and coming back.
Correct. They'll come in, cross the scale, go fill up, and then come back across the scale to exit.
So signage for sure would be on bridge of trucks probably have it right away because they have the wide turns.
And they are putting in a deceleration lane. So for trucks coming from the south to turn right, they will have extra room to get off the road. Trucks coming from the north, though, will be blocking they'll be sitting in the lane if they need to.
Southbound traffic, yeah.
Yep.
That lane is already there. They've already put it in.
I wasn't sure if it was poured. Last time I drove by, it was
It
just
was,
dirt
yeah.
still.
No, it is.
Okay, very good. Any questions from the board?
Did you open the public hearing?
I will open the public hearing at 7:23. So anybody who wishes in the public to speak in favor of this project, please come forward, identify yourself by name and address. Seeing none, anybody that wishes to oppose this project or has concerns, this is the opportunity to come forward, state your name and address. Seeing none, at that point, we'll wait just for a minute or two before we close the public hearing. And,
If you want, you can. A minute has elapsed.
okay. All right, we'll close the public at 7:24. All right, that brings us to our consideration for a vote on this project. Based on city staff recommendations and public comments, discussion by the Board of Zoning Appeals, as well as our very competent staff, I make a motion to approve. And that's SP 202601. I hear a second. At this point, we'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. The motion carries. All right, now we're on to old and unfinished business. I'm seeing a shaking of a head. There's no unfinished business. Okay, we'll then close that item to number 9, which is new business. Do we have anybody with some bringing forward any new business? That leaves us now to staff reports. No staff reports. Boy, this is getting disappointing. All right. All right. Any items from board members? Anything new that you want to bring up? Okay. And at this point, I'll call for adjournment for the Planning and Zoning Board, BZA. Yeah. And I hear a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anybody opposed to adjournment? No. We are technically adjourned. Thank you all for the